What up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the best worst show on the internet. I'll be your host today. My name is Manuel Chavez the Third, or the Turd, depending on how you know me. And today, we're supposed to be talking to our good friend Justice Lost. He just got censored off of YouTube. We're just waiting for him to kind of like join up or whatever. I sent him the link on over. But I guess I could use this time to kind of explain the TLDR or just bullshit for like 5 or 10 minutes because obviously censorship is still happening all over the place. And we all need to come together and support people, even though sometimes we don't get supported in the same way. It's about how you do it and what you do, not what happens to you, apparently. I guess. I don't know. What I do know is that, man, it's kind of sad and a little bit strange when people get taken out in such a really crazy way. And I mean, it's been ramping up over the last couple of weeks. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about the whole censorship topic because it seems to be coming together with this election thing that might be coming up here in the very near future. I think this election thing might be the problem that everybody's looking for, or that everybody's worried about, that everybody's kind of wondering about. I don't know. I'm worried about it. I'm wondering about it, yet I just don't get what's going to be happening with these individuals. You know, I just don't get what's going to be happening with them, man. I don't get it. It's like YouTube keeps censoring all of its creators once again. And, you wouldn't think that this is something that they would be looking forward to do here, but it is something that they're actually looking forward to do. It's something that they've been doing for quite some time now. And it's like, we don't know what's allowed and what's not allowed anymore. It doesn't matter what you talk about. There's a great strong chance that you're going to get nuked for having an opinion that doesn't fall in line with the mainstream media or the talking heads or the minders. And I think it rolls back into this whole 1984 aspect where it used to just be like a warning that, hey, we should not become like this. And now they're like utilizing it as like a Bible on how they're trying to restructure and reshape the future of our reality into something that I simply just don't understand anymore. And, I'm never going to be the big content creator, I don't think, that everyone else is, but I still like to at least come forward and talk to different people about their perspectives on where they're at right now, because not only have I been through every single little bit of all of this that this guy's been through, I've been through it multiple different times, right? And at this point, it's just like, we can't really do too much for our own brand, but it's when we see another creator that seems to be rising up the ranks, that's on a mission, and out of nowhere, it just seems like things aren't working the way that they wanted to have them work anymore. And this is really crazy, my friend. That's just really crazy. I honestly try to figure out how all of this is going to roll through, but I don't really know. And with that, it looks like we got our boy Justin Lost right here. It looks like he's coming in. We're live already, but how you doing, Justin?
Yo, what's up? I'm doing as good as I can be
Yeah,
after getting my
man.
whole livelihood taken away.
Yeah, that sucks. So you were doing YouTube full time. You don't have another job. You weren't doing anything else.
I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna keep moving my hand. My camera will not focus on me for no matter what I do. I need to turn
Oh,
autofocus off. I know, but I didn't have time before the stream. But
that's fine.
I do have another job. The thing is, it really doesn't pay that much, and I somewhat neglected it pretty hard because it's a work from home job. So I do IT. I'm pretty sure. Do you do IT?
Yeah, I'm IT guy as well. Although I don't work from home, I go to places.
Yeah, you're a field tech. Yeah, I used to be a field tech a while ago too. Uh, so yeah, I kind of neglected that job a good bit, and it does not pay anywhere near as much as I was making on YouTube. So I had some things that were about to be put into place. I was about to sign a contract on a house, or it was a condo that I was going to buy. That's not happening anymore. I mean, thank God I didn't sign the contract and then get banned, because that would be a real disaster. But that's not happening anymore. And there was some other things that were going to go down that not going to happen unless I end up getting it back. There's one Hail Mary out there there's still a chance that I could get it back, but I'm not going to be too hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you not to be hopeful. You might get luckier than I have because your situation seems very, very strange. If you don't mind me asking, like, what's a rough estimate of, what you're making? Where you making at least 4 grand a month on YouTube? Because that's what I would consider you'd at least have to be making by to be full time, right? Like
Oh yeah.
that's what I was talking about for myself. But I'm in no danger of making that anymore.
No, I mean, yeah, that's definitely. I mean, yeah, I would love 4,000. I'd be extremely grateful for. Um, but in the last 6 months, ever since about the new year, the lowest that I've made was like it was over 5,000. So
Wow, that's actually really that's amazing. And
no,
then
I mean, it's been like an extreme. Like I can't be grateful enough. And honestly, I've said this to everybody that I've talked to. If I don't make another dime off YouTube, I've still made like a life changing amount of money, and I'm extremely grateful for it. So it's
did you save money?
oh yeah, I don't spend much.
That's good. That's good. Like I ask everybody because I remember my situation was like you probably don't know, so I'll just give you like the brass tacks is that I got censored the same way back at when I had 25,000 subscribers. I think I was averaging about maybe 2-3 grand a month, depending on how generous people were feeling, and it was a great feeling. Like I went full time on that and was doing the IT field tech work at that particular juncture, and honestly, like I ran into the situation where I was living in a house. I was the only one living there. And when I lost my YouTube revenue, it became extremely difficult to keep that house. And like, I mean,
Yeah,
I just don't, like I was in a bad spot because I was having to sell crypto and everything. And I just don't wish that type of situation on any other content creators. I mean, I lost my whole Google account. I know I DM'd you about this a little bit, but you said that so when they took out your YouTube channel, they just basically suspended your access to YouTube. You just go to YouTube and it's like you don't have access to this product,
yeah.
right?
It's weird because I had like 4 YouTube channels associated with that account. So I run some. I'm not gonna say which ones they are, but I do like some faceless channels as well, just YouTube automation type stuff. Um, and those are all gone as well, but they're still there. Like the only channel that's not like I can click on all the other ones, but Justin is lost is just not there at all. So that entire email is just gone from YouTube. But the Google account is still there. It's just I can't access YouTube with it.
Yeah, so that's very similar to kind of what happened to me. Like when they nuked me, but they took out my whole Google account. Like I couldn't even log into the Gmail, dog. So like they've
Jeez.
changed that process a little bit, but essentially you any channel that you made under that same Google account, the only one that they took out is your main one. All the other ones will still exist in perpetuity. You just won't ever be able to log in and access them ever again.
That's wild, man.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And I've been like from my perspective, like I've tried going through Google One, I've tried using any little contacts and stuff that I've had within YouTube, and the same thing is always being said. They're just like, nope, you're not coming back, we're not giving your account back. You should just be happy that you have what you have, right? And I'm kind of the same way. You have to have multiple Google accounts with different channels and whatnot in order to stay safe, I guess. And
Yeah.
now you're looking at Rumble, and this is where I have to get into the fun part, is because I'm on Rumble too, and I've been pretty critical of it. Like I've
Yeah.
had rows with Chris Kozlowski, I think that's what his name is, on Twitter about how Rumble's a lot like PeerTube and some other things. But what's your feeling about that right now? How you feeling?
About Rumble, I mean, I think it's obviously more free speech than, but I don't think there's a single free speech platform out there. I mean, that'd be like that would be really dumb. It would really alienate a lot of advertisers if there actually was a free speech platform out there. Like people say Twitter's free speech. No, it's not. It's not even close. Rumble's not free speech. Kick's not going to be free speech. It's just, and the irony is I tweeted that exact thing the day before I got banned. Like the night before I tweeted that there is no free speech platform. Like that's all cope. And so in that sense, I'm not too optimistic about Rumble. And also, if like people, dude, these people that you're like, I got banned, and they're like, oh, just go to Rumble, it'll be fine. You can tell those people they're not creators. Because if I just go to Rumble, I'll just be irrelevant for the rest of the time that I make content. Because there's just not that much discoverability over there. It seems like live streams do like decent, but anytime I post all of my videos on Rumble, and
No,
they just
are
don't
you
get views.
Quick question: when your videos were getting posted to Rumble, were you utilizing the Rumble synchronization feature?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, that's the problem.
Really?
So like anytime you use that, it basically does not like put you in the algorithm for them as whatsoever. So like you will get almost zero discoverability on those videos when
Okay.
they're posted like that. So like now you kind of like have to like upload them to Rumble and then just have them be posted. But the one thing that I've noticed since I've been on there is that live streams are actually seemingly where it's at. You get way more discoverability with the live streams, and if you're utilizing a platform per se like Restream or StreamYard, they give you the ability to upload a video to the platform and then
Yeah.
stream it, right? And that's where Rumble seems to really be shining for a lot of like
Okay.
the bigger creators that are utilizing it. I mean, I'm kind of like a piece of shit over here, I do everything horrible and bad on purpose. So like I'm never going to get anywhere, but it's always funny for me to like explore the algorithms and the platforms because I like to learn things and that such. And cuz I've looked at your channel and I've seen that you do have some videos that, get some growth, like whenever you're talking about getting banned, but then you have kind of the same thing going on that I was having where
Yeah.
you're just not getting anything. And for a while there, I wasn't either until I got verified and things started getting better until they weren't. It's like they turned off the algorithm for me or something like that because I was
Yeah.
actually getting double, triple the viewership over on Rumble than I was on YouTube all of a sudden. It's still kind of am, right? Like when I look at my videos, I'll get like 300 views on YouTube. I'll get like 600 on Rumble, but I have 6,000 subscribers on YouTube and I only have like 500 maybe on Rumble.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't add up, does it?
Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't know if Rumble's necessarily botting, but I definitely think what I think needs to happen is there needs to be, I don't know about a law passed, but there needs to be some like way to regulate what counts as a viewer and a view and what doesn't. Because I know that, and I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard some very reputable people tell me that the way Rumble counts viewers on live streams, it definitely inflates the numbers. Like basically what they told me is if, oh, that's a cute dog. Can you hear my dog barking, by the way?
No, I can't.
Okay, cool.
No,
She is
my
going
dog
a little bit
doesn't bark.
crazier now.
She is? I don't even hear.
All right, thank God, because that shit gets annoying. But basically, what they told me was, if somebody views your stream for 5 seconds, it'll count for a viewer for like an hour. So it's basically botting. I mean, you're basically getting your numbers inflated like crazy.
That is a little bit strange, actually. I've never heard that particular thing about it, but that would make a little bit of sense because at least at the first part of this, there was a specific channel I've had beef with in the past, Nightwave Radio / the Revenge of the Sis. Not sure if you're aware of them. I don't really have any beef with them anymore. They've obviously are successful, way more successful than I am, so respect or whatever. But they, for whatever reason, dude, they were getting like 1 million fucking views on Rumble. Like they went from having a YouTube channel that hardly ever broke 5K, maybe 10K if they had like a real spicy topic or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they went to Rumble and that legit they're getting the same kind of views that Bongino is getting. Okay. And immediately this other cat named Lift the Veil and a bunch of other people were calling a foul on that. But there really hasn't been any like information out there to either prove or deny it. It just seems that the views have gone down significantly for I guess, chosen individuals. So it's very similar to what's happening on Twitter. Like everybody says, "Oh, Twitter's the speech platform," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, for real? I just got banned on that shit again. Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, it's not. I've never had faith in Elon. I mean, personally, I don't trust anybody that wants to put chips in people's brains. I've been saying this from the jump since before the Eliza Blue stuff that I knew, like, dude, Elon is not the savior that y'all think he is. Personally, and I don't know if you can cut me off at any time. I think the guy is probably bought out by the deep state or somebody who wants to control everyone. They know that the left and all those lunatics, they'll take anything that's put inside of them. They'll do whatever the government tells them to do. I think Elon is a plant to try and win over the right, try to win over the free speech people out there, people that don't want to take any jab that they're told to, people that don't want to put anything in their body. And I think that the left is going to take Neuralink. And once Elon convinces the right that he's a good guy, free speech guy, they'll take Neuralink, and then they'll
Hmm.
have everybody under mind control. And the cars you drive will be electric. They can shut them off whenever they want to. Like it's to me, it's pretty obvious that the guy is he's a plant, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I've actually met the guy before back in
Really?
the day, and yeah, it was a really stupid story. But I was used to work for a place called Firesight, and the guys that ran it were friends with him. So like he came and made us at their apartment one time, and we were like doing tequila shots and stuff, talking about like the future of SpaceX. It was a interesting time, but like back then. I already had known that this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's not the scientist, right? Like he's more
Yeah.
of he's the face, right? And ever since that he started doing this whole Twitter thing, like he had a huge opportunity a few years ago with Dogecoin, right? Like, a
Yeah.
lot of people don't realize or don't remember that he was given the master keys to the Dogecoin network, and he could have actually taken that and made it into something that was, standard. All they really would have had to have done is just, rename the shit, right? Just rename it. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Everybody would have been cool. But he just kind of fucked that over, right? Like he didn't do anything with it, and then he started basically pumping and dumping the coin. Like he wasn't doing it for himself though; he was just kind of doing it to
Yeah.
see if he could do it. And it was at that point that I started to realize that he wasn't. He's not the good guy, and he's not even like the neutral guy. He's like chaotic neutral, borderline, evil. But nowadays, it just seems like he's full on evil, but he's more than happy to just lie to your face about whatever, like, oh well, we're not censoring everyone, but we have to censor some people, the bad ones, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't, I don't know how you think about this, but it seems like they censor like who the ADL tells them to in certain groups like that. Like they won't let Kanye, they won't let Alex Jones, they won't let Fuentes, they won't let that group of people on, and they let certain groups of people. I mean, such as like Eliza Blue, do things that are totally against the TOS, and like certain people are very obviously propped up, like Ian Miles Chong and those people. It's very obvious that certain people, I don't know if they're on the payroll, but
They are now.
are they actually?
Yeah, like Ian Miles Chong, he got paid through the
Oh, true, true.
Twitter
Yeah,
partner
yeah,
program, so now he is being directly paid by Elon. That's the guy that used to swat people, the guy that started Gamergate. Like fucking
yeah,
insane. I understand I know what you're saying, and I understand what you mean about all of these things, because there's so many of these people that I've seen in the past that have already been censored, that are being propped up very clearly. They can almost do no wrong in the eyes of anyone, or at least the eyes of the people that matter, the
yeah,
minders, as it were. And looking at Twitter really did have like a big pump, and then outside of nowhere, it just kind of like went away. At least as that's what I see coming from, is that it's no longer the platform that's going to be the equality speech. Now everybody's basically just going to be whoring for the views because they want to get paid, and it's going to
yeah,
fundamentally change how the platform is and how the platform operates. And I don't think Elon sees it, right? Like I think that he sees himself creating, 10 cent. That's what he wants to do in the United States, right? But he's been
yeah,
wanting to do that for years, ever since before PayPal. That was his like goal. And most people don't realize that, if you think about it, you know who Tencent is? Have you ever researched Tencent?
yeah,
So you get that they own WeChat and all these other companies, to the point where it's like they got apps within their particular app, and they basically work directly hand in foot with the Chinese government to censor and everything. Like that's what Elon is building here in the United States, but he wants to put chips in your brain, and it's crazy that you even brought that shit up, because nobody seems to talk about it. Right? Like
yeah,
nobody views it in that particular way, and I think that they should, because like Elon's like, yeah, we're just going to, control all these dumb shits, and then we're going to make AI robots. And that's the future, like our future in the next 20 years is like people aren't going to even have to work. There's probably going to be robots that are doing your work. You're going to have some AI that's a robot that's going to be doing your job for you. And it's going to be your job to keep that thing maintenance to keep you alive. And if your robot dies, or, gets fucked up and you can't work or get food, whose fault is it?
yeah.
You know,
Well,
your
think
fault.
about like how people were made to feel like the other and things like that, how they were ostracized with the jab. Imagine how bad it's going to be with Neuralink. Like these people can access whatever information they want at the snap of a finger. If you don't have that, then why would anybody even hire you? Like you're not even going to be part of society anymore because you're so stupid. You're like a lowly
You'll be a
human. Everybody
Luddite.
else is cyborgs.
Yeah, you'll be a Luddite. You'll be a basic human, and it's going to become a thing where it's going to be a threefer. We're going to have the regular human beings like you and me right now. There's going to be the augmented people, which are the ones that have the AI built into their system. Also, the ones that could get taken over by
Yeah.
that AI and become some kind of weird drone, like a Cyberman or something like that. Like if you've
Yeah.
ever watched Doctor Who,
Yeah.
right? And then there's the last thing is that, we don't really talk about it, but it's going to be the genetic people, right? The genetic modifiers, the ones that are trying to change their chromosomes and whatnot. Like, so,
Yep.
like, in the very near future, we have those three things that are going to be contending. So, if they talk about World War III, that's what I always saw it as, So everything that we're seeing happening right now with Ukraine and all this other stuff doesn't really seem to matter as much to me. But I do believe that, the more that we're moving forward, like, how much do you think that it's been a bot that you've been dealing with on this YouTube thing?
Oh, well, I would hope that it's all been a bot because the answers that I've gotten have just made no sense. I would hope that it's not a human actually trying to target me. I would like to think that. If that's the case, then that would make it a lot worse. I'm hoping because it's not just me. Like I don't know. Have you heard of Stephen Hilton before?
I think I've heard that name before. Yeah.
He doesn't really cross over much with like the kind of content that I make or you make or anything. He just happened to cross over with the Sound of Freedom stuff. Like he just happened to also make some videos trying to expose child meetings and things like that. And he got hit. The same thing that I did, the same message, also had no strikes, no issues with monetization, none of that. And his channel just got nuked. And he had 500K. He was way bigger than me. And he got the same messages back. So I'm hoping that this is some kind of because there's also like that stuff like that Fat Steven and Drunk 3PO. They're all getting hit with that reuse content stuff. So I'm hoping that it's just an algorithmic error that robots are messing up and they'll maybe overturn these things in the future. But like I said, I'm not too optimistic. I would not want to find out that it's actually a human doing this to me because there's no grounds to ban me on, man.
Well, I think that it's not a human doing it to you because I've seen a lot of the messages and stuff that are going out. And back
Yeah.
in when it happened to me, like 2019 or 2018, 2019, 2021, three times, right? Um, every time it's gotten progressively different and progressively more ridiculous in how the responses that came forward. And like back in the day, yeah, there was people, right? But there's no people anymore, man. You're
Yeah.
just you're
I
just
think
talking
like
to a
isn't
bot.
Facebook one of the only ones that still has humans really moderating things, right?
They are some of the ones, but they fired a lot of those people because it's being done by AI. And that's the same thing is that Twitter, when Elon fired all those people, he was firing the moderation team. So, like, all of the moderation that's happening on the platform, I mean, yeah, there might be a person that's like select all, approve or whatever somewhere down in that like line chain, but it's completely automated. Like, you're not getting at a regular person. So, it's either you have a direct in with Elon or somebody in on the inside, or you're
Yeah.
screwed. And it's funny because like I originally never had that in, got my account back using the in that I had, and then the in that I have no longer works at Twitter anymore. So it's back to square one again for me.
Yeah. That's just I don't know, man. That's just not a world that I want to live in where your livelihood can get taken away. And luckily, like I said, I didn't quit my job, even though I was strongly considering it because I was like, why the hell am I working this job for? It just doesn't pay enough. Um, and it's just crazy that a robot can just take your livelihood away because of an error, and they just don't care. Like they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, they never cared, man. They just don't care. It's never cared.
Like imagine that Stephen Hilton guy with 500K. I'm sure he was doing that full time, and I'm sure he's been doing it for years full time, and it's just gone. Like his life is. He's an older guy too. I think he's at least 50. So what's he gonna do? Like go back to the workforce?
Yeah, dude, go start flipping burgers at McDonald's or something like
Yeah.
that. They won't fucking hire you, dude. I've tried it, bro. I've tried it.
Yeah. I mean,
They're
my
like, you
plan would
want
be
too
to.
much money. That's what they say. You
Yeah.
you cost too much, and I'm like, what the fuck? You guys
That
can't
that
pay 30. You can't pay 30 a year. That's how bad y'all are. Damn.
that's where the robots should be. They should be flipping the burgers.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, my plan would be is just make thumbnails and stuff for people, like run YouTube channels on the back end if I couldn't do anything else. Because I
Yeah.
know some people who run YouTube channels, but they don't do the thumbnails and stuff. So I'd probably just ask them, like, hey, you got any clients that, need thumbnails made? And I'd do that because I like that kind of stuff. That's fun for me.
Yeah, you really did seem to be like really good at making thumbnails and stuff. I remember when I first ran into you, it was through the Eliza Blue situation. I think I was like, you were having a beef with like a mini beef with the quartering, which was hilarious. I can't remember
Yeah,
what it was. The quarter pounder, is that what we were calling him at that point?
I
I
call them
don't know.
Fat Q.
Yeah. Oh, fat Q. That's funny. Yeah, well, Q is fat. Look at me, I'm fat. So I think that quartering or during that particular time, like how big were you during that? Because I feel like you weren't as big as you were then, because
No.
you like grew massively over the last couple of months. It was kind of insane.
Yeah, since the Bud Light stuff, the Bud Light stuff started, I think I had like 20K and I ended at 53. That's so sad to say I ended.
I ended.
But yeah, it's sad to say. During the Eliza Blue stuff, I think I was around 10, or maybe I started a little bit below. No, I was above 10. Yeah, so maybe like 12 ish.
Hey man, I could probably pull up the videos and I'll pull up them videos and check. Yeah, I think you were at like 12. And then I know when you just finally said that you were banned, you had like posted a message about, oh yeah, here it is, I think right here. Yeah, you posted this message for your analytics, and I was just kind of like, I went like that. I was like, what the fuck? You had 53,000 subscribers. What happened? I was like, that was the next thing. It was like, what did you do? What was the driving force? So you think it was just the Bud Light stuff?
For the growth.
Yeah, for the growth. Like what shot you? What started? When did you started noticing that you were getting skyrocketed?
Well, yeah, the Bud Light stuff was definitely a huge boost. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I got on that pretty early. I was like one of the first ones to post a video on like the actual Dylan Mulvaney video, and I posted like Matt Walsh and Sneeko reacting to it, and that video got like over 500,000 views. And then the situation just got so huge, and I was like one of the first ones that were on it. So I already had some people who had watched videos of mine prior to it getting like giant, and that definitely propelled me pretty far. But I would like recently I was getting like over 100,000 views on videos that I didn't even think would do well. You know, I think it just came down to like at that point it was just like understanding the audience, like understanding what my audience really watches. I think I really had that down, like what they wanted to see. And now I'm probably going to have to start all over and completely understand a new audience now.
Well, I mean, you can either understand a new audience or you just keep building. I mean, the YouTube game's pretty simple in the fact that, if you go incognito for a couple of months and then just, come back as you,
Yeah. I'll
they're
probably
just
start.
not gonna.
I already started a new channel. It's called Justin Reloaded. If anybody wants to go check it out, um, and I'm just gonna be faceless for a while. I don't think I was high profile enough for them to like really care about me starting another
Bro,
channel.
you
So
don't gotta go faceless, dog. Let me
yeah, I
tell
mean,
you,
I was faceless anyway on my old one, pretty much, other than live stream. So
that's true. I mean, I kind of like went through that whole thing, and I mean, I've been through it. I'm still expecting for this channel, like, because this is my video game channel, right?
yeah, is this you monetize, right?
Yeah, I'm still monetized with the Google AdSense account from the other, well, the one that got
Did
suspended.
your AdSense account get deactivated when you got banned?
No.
Mine's deactivated.
Yeah, they didn't deactivate my AdSense, so like I still have it connected to a couple other things, which I thought was a huge oversight for them. But I don't say anything because I haven't been able to cancel YouTube Red or YouTube Premium because I had that on my original account, and when they canceled, like you have to log into YouTube to cancel it. So I can't log into YouTube to cancel it. So the only thing I could do is remove my credit card, but I don't want to do that because I have so many other things connected to it that require that credit card, like, web properties and stuff
Yeah.
that are on Google Cloud. So I'm like, I can't do that. So I've just been paying for like YouTube Premium, and I haven't been able to use it for like,
What do you want to cancel YouTube Premium?
I mean, if I could, I pay for it twice, basically. I pay for
Okay.
it on one channel where I can't use it or do anything with it and I can't cancel it. And then
True.
I
Yeah.
have this channel, which also has it that I can actually use. It's
Because I was gonna
just
say that's one of the subscriptions that I use that that's
the
probably like
best
one of the
one.
best ones, dude. I really like it.
That shit is the best. I hate
Yeah.
watching ads, dude. I mean, I literally, it bothers me more than anything. So, like, having that has been probably the best. Like, the single greatest purchase that I've ever made.
Yeah. And then I run a lot. So being able to listen to a podcast, like close out the app, lock my phone and go run while I listen to stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really interesting when you finally actually see some of these individuals.
But yeah, shout out to Flash the Phoenix in the chat. What's up, man?
Awesome, Shady Chicks. What's up, man?
Uh, but yeah, there's somebody talking shit.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see.
well,
Yeah, I see.
is what it is.
Yeah, I have some folks that just don't like me or whatever because apparently I have a deviated septum, which I don't.
Dude, do you
Right?
know how many?
I've just done a lot of cocaine, so
I had so many people, even just now, like right before the stream, somebody replied to one of my tweets saying I was banned, and they're like, "Good." Like I've had so many people celebrate my ban.
who
It's
celebrated
wild
your
to me.
band? Name some names.
It's nobody's like no, just
Oh,
four
just like
follower people.
randos.
Yeah, but I know that there's some people celebrating. Yeah, I know for a fact that, and I'll never forget this either because I'm gonna be back in one way or another, and I'm gonna pass these fucking bums, and I won't forget it. I'll just say that there's certain people out there that I know for a fact their close friends have retweeted me a bunch of times. I know they've seen it. They want me to be banned, man, and they've been blacklisting me for 3 years now. Like they don't want me around. They're glad I'm gone, and I'm sure the quartering's glad too. I don't really give a shit. I don't really care what that guy has to say or what he thinks. That's fine. He can celebrate.
Yeah, he celebrated. I mean, I got banned. Did he shout me out when I got banned? Nope. Did he shout you out when you got banned? Nope.
Well, I
That's
don't even
why.
expect him to. I was an asshole to him. I was a dick to him, but I think he deserved it. I think he's. I don't think he's a great person, but I also don't expect him to shout me out because I was a dick to him. But
Yeah, correct. Correct.
yeah,
I mean, I expected him to shout me out when I wasn't a dick to him, but after him not shouting me out for a couple of months and then just straight up stealing my work, I was just like, that guy's a piece of trash. And then the insult to injury was me being on his coffee thing, earning some money, never getting paid for it, and then him deleting the account, remaking the
he
entire
never
thing.
paid you.
Never paid it me. Never. I'm pretty sure he never paid a whole bunch of other people too because I never got any money.
Don't tell me this, man, because I'm gonna have to go on a whole another the quartering arc if
Yeah,
I
so
hear this
like,
shit.
and then I got like ostracized. So like during the Eliza Blue arc, like I've been around longer than all of these people. Like I remember when like Anna, that Star Wars girl, had no subscribers, right? And she was like nobody. So like just watching how some of these guys are acting now that they're a lot bigger than me, I'm like, oh well, guys, I got censored and I couldn't grow. So like, what did you want me to do? Right.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm back and I'm doing my content. So it's not easy for them to steal from you. It's easy for them to just take what you're doing and then keep it forward because to them it's a business, right? Like they got to keep the grift up. They got to
yeah,
keep that LARP money flowing. And I mean, for guys like I think us, we're just trying to survive, right? We're trying to succeed and trying to survive.
yeah.
And through no fault of our own, we're just getting censored. And it's not like you're a fucking anti-Semitic, or it's not like you're
No,
out
well,
there
not at least
spewing.
not on YouTube at least.
Yeah, not on YouTube for what I've seen. You don't seem to be a Nazi or
Yeah,
any of that stuff. You don't even seem to be very Antifa-ish. Like most of your viewpoints are very cogent. I would have to say, like you do have the air of a conservative to you, but there's always a chance that it could just be like an act, which I don't mind. Like I just point
I
that
think if
out.
I was acting, I'd probably lean in a little bit more to the grift because I call out the people like it's not that I'm calling them out, which they do say some really stupid shit, but like the hardcore conservative people, like the Daily Wire, like Steven Crowder and them, it's for me, like the marriage thing just doesn't make any sense. And I will never be a conservative because of that reason. I just don't understand why you get married to these modern women. I just don't understand it. Like Steven Crowder, that should be a lesson to everybody to not get married. Like it should just be a lesson, but they'll just forever just hammer that into your head. Like I must get married. I'm a robot. I must get married. And that just makes no sense to me.
It's
So I'll
American
never be a
dream, bro.
conservative because of that.
Yeah, American dream. Well, I mean, that's the conservative lifestyle. Like, I was never a conservative to begin with. Like, I worked on the goddamn Obama campaign, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, I became conservative because I voted for Donald Trump. And then ever since, I've just been like, well, like, I have some conservative viewpoints and values, but for the most part, I'm a pirate, right? Like, so That's why my shit probably doesn't make sense to half of the people, is because they're trying to put me in the right left box, the red blue. But nah, man, I'm the dude that's drunk as fuck at his boat, just being like, I don't give a shit. I'm
Yeah.
fishing. You guys have a nice day.
Yeah, the thing is, I really do give a shit about a lot of these things, and like, trust me, like, people can think it's a grift all they want. I really am passionate about everything that I talk about. Maybe I'm not passionate enough about Bud Light to make 25 videos on it. You know, maybe I do stretch that out because people want to see it a little bit more, but it all does stem from like, it really is rooted in, like, I'm passionate about these things. If I wasn't, I would have just kept making Hollywood videos that I made back in the day, like trashing on Hollywood. But it eventually got to a point where I was like, how many different ways can I possibly say that these movies suck? You know, they all are going to suck in the future. They all have sucked, you know, currently. I have nothing else to say, you know? So I quit YouTube for a year because of that. I was like, I can't do this shit anymore, man. And you know, I came back with the Eliza Blue stuff. That's when I came back.
Oh, yeah. So you came back. Why did you even want to get on the Eliza Blue stuff in the first place?
Well, my friend, common idiot, Matt, shout out to him. He was like, he was pretty much, yeah, he was like, man, you need to come back. Like, I don't want to say he was begging me, but he was like, dude, like, we miss you over here. Like, you got to come back. So I was like, dude, I'll come back, but I'm only talking about things that I find interesting. I'm not talking about this Hollywood bullshit anymore. And he was pretty much like, check out this Eliza Blue stuff, you know? And I was like, all right, that sounds interesting. I was like, I'm not gonna get any views though. Like, I've been gone for a year. And then, like, the first video I posted on, I got like 20,000. And I was like, damn, like, this stuff is actually popping off. So then, you know, I kept hammering that. And yeah, it was a wild situation.
Yeah, it was
And
a
I was
pretty good
actually
hammer point.
surprised that I was able to pivot off of it into actually like a direction that I wanted to go in as well. Cause that was kind of like I guess it was like a little bit conservative because she was like a fake conservative. So it kind of did cross into that world. But I think it was more like e-drama ish people that it attracted rather than like people who care about the culture war, you know? So I was actually surprised I was able to pivot that audience into the way that it went.
No, I get that actually. That seems to be one of the best things that you did, because like I remember looking at your channel and seeing how it growth, and I think a lot of people jumped onto it because I've seen this like happen over the couple of years with different conspiracies and whatnot, that I've always been on the, I'm going to debunk it and I'm going to piss everyone off because that's just, who the fuck
Yeah.
I am, right?
Yeah.
And like honestly, it hasn't helped with my growth situation whatsoever, even though this show's not about growth. This show is about nothing, actually. It's just about me, actually. So like when I get on these things, like people don't seem to understand, like they're getting it. Like when they see Griftcast IRL, they think like it's like this whole thing, and it was literally just a joke I was doing where I was playing a character where I was like, I want to be like a grifter. So when you look at the Eliza Blue situation, like it was straight up a month from when I posted my thread till people started talking about it and making videos about it. Like I straight up waited a month and then 2 more weeks before I even posted any content about it, because I didn't want people to think or see what was happening in that particular situation. So like I get it that people don't see that this happened. Dude, like who is this guy that is just coming in the chat over and over and over again? I have the most toxic trolls. And
I
I
don't
think
know.
he's like one of your friends. I'm pretty sure if I have to guess, I already know exactly who it is or whatever. And that guy's a piece of shit. You shouldn't listen to him
I don't
anyway.
think I recognize the name, but
No, I don't recognize the name. He just coming in on his multiple alt accounts. See, like I have people that harass me all over the place on the internet,
yeah.
that follow me around, that fucking swat me, call me bad names, all this other stuff because of the things that I've done, right? Or the things that I've allegedly done, to be perfectly honest. And I never deserved any of it, right? But
Yeah.
I still get it, even when it's not about me, it's about you, right? Like we're talking about your censorship. We're talking about what happened to you. And you have to look is that there is a group of people out there that are working against you. You just have to be able to identify it. And then once you get to that place, you'll start noticing it right there.
Yeah. I've noticed there, I hope it's not the case, but there definitely is a possibility that my channel got mass, you know, false flagged. But I don't know. I don't think that's the case. But there are people who are saying like, yes, we got Justin is lost banned. Like there's a few channels or a few Twitter accounts that are saying that. So it's a possibility. I used to have this really weird group of people that followed me around on every single channel. Like I would do gaming streams with 3 people watching, and they would still be there. And it would be like this group of like pro cannibalism people. Like they would just talk about how much they love eating humans and like how I should start eating humans and stuff. It was the weirdest shit ever. But thankfully, never had anything like that happen, like that, getting swatted or anything. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of that stuff. Um,
Oh
Never had
yeah.
anything that serious.
No, that kind of shit happens all the time.
Yeah, I
Like
remember, dude. I remember being on, or I don't think I was on that stream, but when I first got into the YouTube world, Drunk 3PO had something happen where somebody joined his live stream chat and just started spamming his address in the chat. And that was like
that,
when I first entered this world. I was like, holy shit, that's scary.
that's what somebody was doing. Some people have done that to me multiple times, right? Like some dude came in
Yeah.
and was posted that I was doing an interview with like Red State Radio or something like that. Or no, I was doing an interview with like what the hell is that shit? It was about Eliza Blue or something like that, and somebody was in there in my chat posting my address, posting my family's names and all this other crap, which is hilarious considering the fact that I don't hide any of that stuff. Like I dox myself, put all that information out on my own. It's just that the fact that there's actually people that are malicious enough to think that I don't have more guns than they do. That's just weird. And then
Yeah.
I'm friends with the police here, so like they'll call me first and be all like, "Yeah, we got a message that some weird shit was happening. Are you cool?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm cool. You want me to turn the camera on and show you?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, actually." And they'll look and they'll be like, "Okay, cool." Like I've had it like that. I've had people come after me. And I mean, it's good that you haven't really had that much of a problem, but like those people do exist, right? Like there's people that are so toxic, and you have to look at it in the sense that that was the next place I was going to go. Like, did you think that there was like a group? And the thing is if you see people celebrating it and talking about it, there's almost 100% chance. I mean, it is 100% chance that they were in there reporting you, because half the way that the algorithm works is off of the reports. Like they don't they scanned your video when it first went up, and that's the only time they look at it, right? They don't rescan it or have anybody else interact with it unless they get X amount of reports put in, and then that activates or triggers the review, right? So that's what's happening. It's happened to me in the past. Like I've always been successfully able to get around it. It's just that in the way that you're getting on, there's been guys that have had this, reused content thing that's happened, and it's obviously because of shorts. Like that's what it is. It's got to be the shorts. Like there's people, like there's just, you gotta think like the magnitude of copyrightable content that is being uploaded to shorts is just so much, right? Because all people were doing for months were just like taking video clips from Twitter or breaking up other people's videos and re-uploading them. So it caused YouTube to do this algorithmically, and that's why it's kind of like nuking people out there. It's like if your face doesn't appear in the video and it's a short or something and you're playing somebody else's shit, they're gonna get you, and there's really nothing you're gonna be able to do about it.
Yeah, I've seen like Fat Steven and like the Popcast brothers, I think is their name. They submitted appeals, and you can literally see that they showed the screenshot. It has no views on the appeal, and it got denied. Like it's obviously a robot reviewing it, or they just don't really review it at all, and they just get denied. And it's the reused content stuff. So I hope they get that fixed, man.
Yeah, I really do too, man. I mean, I hope they get your shit fixed too, because I mean, it was just sad seeing it out there, because like I'm out here, I ain't trying to be jealous. It always hurts me when I'm just kind of like, wow, holy shit. But I've been watching you explode. That's why I said like I was taken back. I was like, the last time I checked, this guy was at like 30 something. Now he's at 53, and like I'm sitting here just thinking like, dude, my morals, like I just need to fucking do it. But then I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna go play Rust or something instead.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I just have an extremely obsessive personality, where like if I want to do something, I'll do it or I'll die trying. And that's like with everything in my life. And YouTube was one of those things that I've been trying to do since I was 12. And more recently, maybe like 2019-ish, I just started really just studying it. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like instead of just banging my head against the wall, like let's just study it. And I think I had finally figured it out. And not only did I figure out like the strategy side of things, but I had just the muscle memory of waking up every day, posting 3 videos, maybe even doing a stream at night. Like I was just pumping out content. And yeah, I think that's why that's another reason why I grew so fast. Just how much content I was putting out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like when I only really experienced growth, like that's what I was doing. I was putting out 3 to 5 videos a day, doing 2 to 3 live streams a day, just constant content. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun. It's just like nowadays, it's just like I get up and I'm like, well, I could do this all over again, but I already went through all of this. And, like, is the outcome going to be different? So I've
Yeah.
just been taking a big pause just because, for me, it's never, for me, it was about, I wanted to prove to people that you could make money on YouTube. And I wanted to give people a very transparent view of everything, right? Like I used to show people the bank accounts and how much money we were making and every single little bit. And I'll still show that stuff if people ask. It's just, it's not much now. So it's like,
Yeah.
I make like 300, 400, 500 bucks a month sometimes. Ooh, it's not a full-time job. I just do content when I can, when I feel like it nowadays, because I've tried to get out of the making daily content thing because it's a grind, dog.
Oh yeah.
Like
And then it's
I
just
was
like it's a trap too. Like you can't get it like once, especially with the content that I made with the news stuff. It's not like you can make 5 videos in a day and you're good for the week. Like, no, you got to wake up every day and do it, man.
Yeah, I wake up every day, make 5 videos,
Yeah.
15 minutes a piece. You gotta research everything, and then you gotta like race everyone else that's putting it up there, and it
Yeah.
becomes a lot of work. But it's like once you get able to automatically be monetized, and once you got able to do, a few things, it seems like it really like lets you guys take off and work out. So it just kind of sucks, man. Like I guess your perspective on Rumble is very prescient for the time being because a lot of people like, quartering, fuck that guy, but he's over on Rumble now. And like, honestly, it's not like these dudes are making the big money over there, right? Like
No.
it's not a business decision that they're making. That's a positive one because unless they're getting paid directly by Rumble,
Well, he is. Yeah. He
well,
got a
that's the
deal.
thing is you got to look at who's investing in Rumble right now because they're basically like giving IOU contracts to people saying that, hey, if we make it to these levels, we'll be able to pay you to this level. And that's like what Jeremy's on right now. And I think that's why he's kind of pushing it. But then again, he probably saw how popular Bongino was on the platform. It was just seeing dollar signs. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at a guy like that. He is a marketing guru before all of that. And I mean, he may have bought his growth or whatever, but what he purchased to get his growth up onto the table only accelerated what was already happening with the viewership and the algorithm. So like when he was originally coming up, like he was the same size as me back in the day. Like if you can remember that, or if you can even imagine that.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I didn't know him back then, so I can't remember.
Like back in the day when like 2017, he was like around the same size as me, and he just basically was doing the exact same thing that I was doing. And then I got censored, and he skyrocketed because like there was no one else that was doing the same thing except for the only difference between me and us is that he was straight just making videos every day, and I was doing the live streams, right? So like I was doing better than him in a lot of ways because of the live streams, because that's where all the money gets made in all of this. Like, ad revenue is a joke, right? Like if you go watch a new popular channel that's come up, the Y Files. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That guy over the last year has just been killing it, right? And it's just his method and his model. It's very, very good. He does his produce video and then he redirects people to the live stream afterwards and they just discuss it, talk about it for 5-6 hours, whatever. And I mean, like for him, he's making probably 4 to 5 times more money on the live stream after than he is on the views, right?
Yeah.
So for him, he spends all this time producing this one video or whatever, and then that one video will never ever make as much money as he makes on that one live stream right after.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah. What's
crazy.
funny is you're talking about how, well, we're talking about the quartering, and I saw him on Twitter yesterday. I'm blocked, so somebody had to send it to me. But he was saying, he was arguing with somebody, and he was like, I don't know. They're talking about censorship, and he was like, I would have been 10 times bigger if I didn't get censored so much by YouTube or something like that. was like, really? The quartering thinks he deserves 10 million subscribers.
Yeah, he thinks he deserves 10 million subscribers for sitting in his room and making those videos that other
Yeah,
people produce for him.
right. It's crazy. Oh man, I don't want to make this into like the quartering circle jerk, but why do you need an editor for videos that have zero cuts? Like, why does the guy have an editor on his payroll? That's maximum laziness, man.
Dude, he's a businessman. He's got this whole thing down to a business, right? He's got
Yeah,
thumbnail makers, he's got video makers. I mean, that's where it's really cool to see what you're doing, is because like you were doing everything that the Quarterings team did by yourself, right?
yeah,
You're like me. You do everything. I make all the thumbnails. I do all this stuff. So if anybody understands why it looks jank, or why I'm lazy, is because I'm the one that's doing all of it, right? And posting to 5 different platforms and all this other stuff ain't easy. And I
yeah.
know you know that, right?
No,
You
it's dude,
know
it's
that.
especially these types of videos. It's not like people say, how long does it take you to make a video? Okay, like 45 minutes or whatever to upload it. It's not just that though. It's literally a 24/7 job, dude. Like, you have to
Mm-hmm.
constantly be thinking about what the next video is. You have to constantly be looking at social media about what the breaking news is. It's 24/7, dude. It takes a extreme mental toll on you. And that's why the people like Yellow Flash and the Quartering and them, they'll take the weekends off. I took no days off, literally zero. I posted 3 videos a day, 7 days a week, you know?
No, I
That's
get
another
you.
reason why I think too is, taking the weekends off, that gives me 2 days to, get ahead of people. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at those guys, though. It's like, I have to respect them, but I don't have respect for them, if you
I
can
like Yellow
understand me.
Flash. I think Yellow Flash is cool,
Like,
but
well, I mean, like, I'm not saying that I dislike them. That's not what I said. I just said
yeah,
I have respect for them, but I just don't respect them. And it's just because, like, for me, the way that I see that their growth, a lot of their growth seems to have came from, just one singular event, which was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Like,
yeah,
all of these new heads that, I mean, no offense, but like, they definitely don't have the most prescient ability to tell me about the things that they're talking about, but they're popular nonetheless, right? Like, I never got why the faceless, like, Avatar or whatever was more popular than me. But then again, I actually already know why, because I did the whole Q thing. We proved that that's actually a thing. So I think that, like, for a lot of these guys, they just get one big situation that becomes their bread and butter. It's like you get one big thing. For me, it was Cicada 3301 until I exposed all of it and exploded it, so that I couldn't make money off of it anymore, which was the whole plan in the first place. Because I was like, nah, man, this shit's gay. It's not cool. Not cool at all.
yeah,
And now you got to look at like some of these new guys, and I watch their content, I listen to them, I try to figure out what they're talking about, if I'm feeling like I haven't found anything to talk about that day. But generally all I ever talk about is what people put in my Discord, right? Like, if people are posting it in my Discord, then that's what I see that my audience is caring about, so that's the stuff that I'm going to talk about, unless I find something extraneous. And now I'm taking days off, right? Like, if I don't see any news that I give a shit about, I will, I won't even stream that day.
yeah,
Right. And I think a lot of folks are starting to realize this is because I'm trying to like decouple my life and livelihood from these platforms, because like I can't physically do it, like I might not be able to fucking pay my rent if I don't, go to work or something like that.
yeah,
So, for a guy like you that, you were doing this pretty much full time, it was paying the bills, you were about to buy a place, and then they get rid of you. It's just the worst possible. Like, like, what else can they do to you, dude? Like, what are
well,
they gonna
yeah,
do?
once
Like, get
again,
your dog?
I hate framing it like that because it makes it sound like it's all doom and gloom. Like I said, I made a life-changing amount of money from it, and I've always said, and I've always had this perspective where it's like fast money always comes with slow problems, and I had the fast money and all. Now I have the slow problems. That's just how it works. And I think I'll bounce back from it. But it is a little bit, we talk about how it's a 24/7 job. I never took a day off, not even weekends, holidays. Like, yeah, I don't understand why people take off on like Memorial Day. That's just how personally I think that you can honor those people without taking off of work. But that's just me. It is kind of nice. Right now, I'm just kind of like sitting back. I haven't played a video game in like 6 months. I used to be a huge video game person. So now I'm like playing some video games, and it feels nice, but I have to, in a couple of days, I'm going to break back out of it and be like, all right, it's back to the grind, whether that's, and soon I'll find out if my main channel is gone forever or not. I'll find out in the next couple of days. And once I find that out, that's when I know, like, okay, it's time to go all in on the second channel, or I can go back to the main channel. And that's when I'm going to start being back to the grind.
Well, just to put it out there to perspective for you from, like my history experience is that I waited like 6 months, came back, hit it really hard, grew this channel as much as I could to like basically almost where we are right now. And then I gave up a couple, like I started getting strikes all the time. So it's just like I would be on for 2 weeks, off for a month, on for
Yeah.
2 weeks, off for a month, like, so I just been having to play with that. And as far as I could say is that you should just give yourself more time than you think that you need. Like if you think, oh, a week, give yourself a month, right? So like take some more time. And if at anything is just to refine your process even more,
Yeah.
right? Give yourself an extra 2 weeks is really all I got to say is that because you're not going to lose anything. And after a week, all of those people's attention spans are gone anyway, right? Like I've seen it happen to me, right? Like
Yeah.
even if you tell them about your alternative channels, even if you tell them about Rumble and you
Yeah.
bang it into their heads every single day that they should be on the other platform just in case, it's just, the reality is like how many people were subscribed to you? Like when you watched your videos, what was your average for number of people subscribe watching versus not subscribed?
Not much in comparison. Like, I think it was like 60% were subscribed.
That's pretty good, actually. That's fantastic.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I guess so. I was
More than
thinking like
50%?
notifications, like how many people watch me off notifications. Very low, you know?
Well, yeah. Well, the notification thing for YouTube it's a crapshoot because
Yeah.
number one, they have to hit subscribe, they have to turn on all notifications, and the notifications for YouTube on their phone have to be activated. So if
Yeah.
anywhere in the chain something is gone, they might do all the first stuff, but on their phone they don't have notifications turned on for YouTube or they're blocked. They're never gonna get one, and that's what it is that I saw in mine for like the
Yeah.
vast majority of them.
Yeah. It's crazy. I really, really did start to understand the audience, and I knew that every time I made a Tim Pool video, I would like refresh after 1 minute and there would instantly be like 12 likes on the video. So like a bunch of people would be coming from notifications for Tim Pool videos. And then like other types of videos, it'd be a lot more slow burn. So I think if I wanted to start a new channel, I'd probably start off with some Tim Pool videos.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to make Tim Pool videos, Eliza G videos. I'm gonna start talking about Johnny Depp and shit, and be
Oh
all like,
man.
"Yeah, Amber Heard sucks. I hate her. I bang the shit out of her, but I hate her."
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what I think that would get me good. Although I actually already did start something else there where it's me doing it. It's me, but you don't see my face and you don't know it's me, and it's actually really popular right now. But I haven't told anybody that it's
Is it
actually
about
me.
like that kind of stuff or
No,
something else?
it's completely different than all of this.
That's what's
It's
up. I think
completely
YouTube automation is
opposite.
going to be, it's big.
Well, I mean, it's not automated though. It's just wearing a mask.
Well, yeah, but oh, okay. So you're on camera but with a mask on. Okay. Because I was thinking like it's a faceless channel. I think faceless channels they're gonna be big soon. Like all these people who do like movie recaps and like NBA recap videos and stuff like that. Those are all automated. Like those are all YouTube automation channels and they're huge. Like the movie recap people are so big.
Yeah, they're big, man. I see those videos. I sit there and watch those videos for like
Because
five,
nobody
ten
wants to watch a
minutes.
whole movie, dude.
I mean,
A
I like
2 hour
watching
movie.
movies, but there's like some movies that I'm like, I don't want to watch that movie, but I
Yeah.
want to know what happened. So if somebody asks me about it,
Yeah. But it's like
it's
it's a
like reading
TikTok
the Cliff
generation.
Notes.
They'd rather see the 20-minute recap. It's like it's the same thing as TikTok or YouTube Shorts. That's just the
It's like
direction that it's going in.
it's like comics, right? Like there's people that sat there and they read all the comics, but nowadays there's people that just go to YouTube channels like the Comic Storian and
Yeah.
they listen to them. So like for a lot of these comics, like I would have loved to have been able to afford and read all of them, but I simply could not do that in my situation. So like
Yeah.
I go back over it, like I'd read comics, trade comics with my friends and stuff like that. But it wasn't until like way later on down the road that I started listening to these channels, like these YouTube channels about them, that I like really, really started to love like the actual entirety of the thing. And then what pisses me off about Hollywood and how they've basically like gotten this thing that was so great that had everything written down for them. All they had to do was just move it over, right?
Yeah.
Just make it into a movie. You don't even need to change anything. You have content for, the next 100 years, and they just like, oh, well, we're gonna rewrite it. We're gonna change people's fucking genders and shit, and we're gonna make it completely different. I'd be like, bitch, I want to see the story that I read on paper in video. I don't want to see the story that you read or didn't read, rewrote, and put on the screen. That's not what we wanted to see. That's not what we wanted,
Yeah.
And I think that's been the thing since the very beginning of Hollywood, when they started adapting books and stuff to like film, is that it was always when you were reading a book that you wanted to see that book in that movie. And then people would get pissed, like Lord of the Rings or, fucking Harry Potter. They'd be like, oh, there was some shit that was off, but for the most part, it was good.
Yeah.
Like, I just never understood why Hollywood couldn't do that with comics, right? Like, just take a whole arc of comics and just make it into a movie or TV show. Like, fuck, it's no brainer.
Yeah.
Shot
it's pretty
for shot.
easy. It's just a cow. It's a cash cow waiting to be farmed, and nobody are waiting to be milked, and they just won't do it. That's why I just I don't put any stake emotionally in Hollywood anymore. I don't get mad about it. I don't get sad. I don't get happy when I see something that could be exciting for a lot of people. I just don't care. I've totally checked out. Like Oppenheimer, I love Christopher Nolan. Like he's probably made 3 of my top 5 favorite movies ever. So I'll probably end up watching that eventually, but not in the theater. I'm not going out to watch it. I'll watch it when it comes on streaming, or I'll sail the seas to watch it. But
yeah, well, I'm the original internet pirate. See, this is probably my biggest claim to fame, is that I've taken billions out of Hollywood through piracy.
Okay.
And then I got away with it. That's why I can still talk about it or whatever. It's because, like the thing here is that in order for you to get arrested for that shit, you actually have to make money. So if you don't make any money and you just do it anyway, you really can't do anything to you.
Okay.
So like, nowadays I like try to be as good. Like I buy shit, right? Like I've always bought shit, right? But the way that I've always looked at piracy is that, I'm gonna try before you buy Coyote Fella. Like I want to pick it up, look at it, touch it before I buy it. Like I can, like even nowadays looking at stuff online, like unless I've seen that thing in real life, I will not buy it off the internet. And I don't understand when people do this. Like they buy clothes off the internet, they buy shoes, things that have sizes, whatever. Like I will never understand that mentality. But then again, like I grew up when the internet was just starting. Like I remember when there was no internet and then the internet and everything after that, right? And I think a lot of people don't have that perspective. Like younger kids, like they grew up with the fucking cell phone, with the smartphone. Bro,
it's sad.
Right. And it's cool because when I was a kid, like I used to dream about this. I was telling my brother, I'd be like, dude, do you realize like not that long in the future, we're going to have like glass that you could just touch, and it's going to like, you're just going to be touching the screen and shit. You're going to be able to pull information up. My brother was like, you're fucking crazy. And then like later on down the years, I'll never forget him just like walking up to me, giving me a hug. And he was like, bro, you have been so right about so much of this technology shit in the future. And he was like, you even called that people would be dumb. He was like, I always expected humanity would learn about this technology shit. And he was like, but no, the technology just keeps getting crazier, crazier, crazier. And people are just like, oh, well, I'm going to use it, right? Like, think about it. Like this phone allegedly could take us to the moon, right? Even though the moon landings were fake, of course, but that's a joke.
Are you a flat earther or what?
No, fuck no, dude. I'm
okay.
Fucking NASA for life. That's me cracking jokes. See,
what do you think about what do you have to say with all the people who say every single picture of Earth from space is AI generated?
I just don't even. I don't talk to those people. I
think it's true though.
You think it's true that you think they're all AI generated? They're all photoshopped. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe not AI generated, but computer generated, I'll say.
Yeah, everything's computer generated, bro. They don't take shit on film anymore. Like they're not developing chemicals anymore. Everything is digital. And I mean, think about it from the NASA point of view perspective, it wasn't until the late 90s, late 1999, literally, that they even started like being able to use digital cameras in space because they hadn't figured out the shielding for that shit just yet. So like
Yeah.
they've been doing this for like quite some time, and I think that a lot of the different things that people are saying about like the moon or the moon landing photos or how they're not high resolution, it's always been a case of either somebody's got bad evidence, meaning they've got low resolution pictures, or
Yeah.
they simply just don't understand like some basic thing in physics, or like vanishing points and perspectives and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
I'm not a flat earther. I think that yeah, I don't know. NASA just seems really fishy with all the leaked, people are saying, somebody said in the chat, Squiggles said it's all touched. Oh no, sorry. JJ says it's touched up. Why do you need to touch up a picture of the Earth? Like, why can't we just see what it actually looks like from space? I think it might just be like a
They don't
money
want
laundering thing.
they don't want people to see the atmosphere.
Really?
Yeah,
The
well, it's
atmosphere.
yeah. So if you were if you were to go up into space right now,
Yeah.
and then you were to look out of the window and look down at the Earth, you would see the atmosphere. So like you would see the Earth, and then
Yeah.
you would see the bubble around it. The firmament or whatever people call it. So like they
Serious? Are you
don't.
being serious right now, or are you
Yeah,
joking?
being serious right now. There's every single day all over the place when you're in space and you look down at the Earth, there is a thing that goes around the outside of it. It's like the ozone layer and shit. You can see it because of the way that light and shit is refracting off of it. So the reason that they touch up most of the photographs is to remove that. So it's like they're basically just cutting that out because they don't want people seeing that shit. Because at one point, you will notice that there is a gigantic fucking hole in it, right? And then they've been
Yeah.
talking about this heat dome thing that's been going on. Well, that hole in the ozone moves, and in that hole things get really hot because like it's not getting filtered like it normally would. So temperatures on the planet rise. And I mean, they used to talk about how that hole was at the bottom of the earth, like over Antarctica, but it has since moved, and currently it resides over the United States of America.
Okay. And then what about all the videos that come out of them with like blue screens, and they had that one leaked image from inside like a control center where there was I always forget what it was. It was like a bunch of like pretty much a blue screen. Somebody dropped a ball or something. I forgot what it was about. I'm not a huge flat earther or like anti NASA person, but it does seem fishy with all the the people
Van Allen
falling
belts.
with the what?
Oh, so I read Van Allen belts.
Oh, I don't know what that's about, but I more mean like you could see that people are on wires being pulled up, and they'll be like in an anti-gravity area, and then they'll drop something and it'll hit the floor hard, and they're like, oh shit, yeah. What do you think about all that stuff?
I mean, I've watched some of this shit, and a lot of that seems to be coming from like the NASA videos and whatnot that were getting posted to their like YouTube channels
Yeah,
and things of that nature. So, like, for the most part of it, I think it's all just like bullshit. But I got out of trying to fight with those people a long time ago because it was just like you couldn't win. Like you
yeah,
would have them do an experiment to prove the earth was not flat, and then they would see it and they would be like, okay, well, that's weird, it should not be like this, because then that means that the earth is curved. And then they would just come up with the different, like, oh well, we screwed up the experiment, we need to do something else. So I think in the near future, probably next 5 years, we'll be able to just shoot those people up into space and just be like, well, look.
yeah,
It's like the people that tell you, oh, well, there's that video of the rocket hitting the dome. And I'm just kind of like, okay, so here's the video of the rocket after it landed, and look at the top. How come it's not all crushed in and shit?
yeah,
How come it's not all like destroyed? Shouldn't have it exploded when it hit the dome? But
yeah,
no, it landed and there's not a big ass dent on the top of it. It's still perfectly straight. So
yeah. I don't
like,
know why
what's
Elon
the
would keep
dome made
launching
out of?
rockets. Yeah, why would he keep wasting all this money on these rockets just to slam them into a dome? Yeah, I don't get
Yeah,
that.
it's like when it hit the dome, wouldn't it be like a big ass explosion and shit? You'd be able to see that shit, dog. Like,
Yeah.
or
What about, are you religious at all?
yeah, I'm religious. Well, I was born Catholic, right? Like I was raised
Yeah,
as
me
a
too.
Catholic, and like I still believe in God, but I more follow the Urantia school of philosophy. I feel like
What
it
is
just
that?
kind of. Oh, you've never heard of it? I'll
No.
pull it up real quick. It's insane. it's batshit insane, but I figured if I get to choose, what I'm gonna believe, I choose to believe this.
Okay.
But yeah, it's started by something called the Arantia Foundation. It's something that's been around for quite some time. I'm gonna pull it up for you right now. I just have to click a few buttons over here to share the screen.
Yeah, because somebody shout out to Casey in the chat. She says that the Bible says that the Earth is flat. I don't know if you have a thought on that.
No, Bible does not say that the Earth is flat.
I
It's
think it says it's a circle.
the Hebrew Talmud says that the Earth is flat, but it's specifically talking about the spaceship that the Jewish people flew on that crash landed into Earth. So like that's different because like they had a spaceship, right, and the spaceship was flat and it was like a big square, and then they all lived on the square, and the Jews were just like on this square flying through space, and then they landed on the planet. Okay, so you probably not heard this story.
I have no idea what you're talking about. All I know is that the Book of Genesis, I think, refers to the Earth as a circle, but I don't know anything about the Talmud.
Yeah, it does say the Book of Genesis does say it is a circle, but what happens when you spin a circle, you get a sphere.
Well, it's a circle is 2D though. It's flat.
Well, I mean, they didn't really have three-dimensional constructs back then, did they? Didn't really talk about that stuff, did they? Like triangles.
I don't know.
Like, didn't they refer to pyramids as triangles and things?
I I don't know. I'm not read up enough to know that.
Anyways, well, this is
Like I said, I'm
what
not a
I
flat
come
earther
with
or
it.
anything. I just like asking the questions. It's just
Yeah, no, it's
interesting.
questions. Well, here's something that you should dive into. This is pretty fucking insane. There's like emails. The one thing that brought me to this is the numbers 1111. Have you ever seen those? Do you see that sometimes
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
like look at clocks and you're like, what the fuck is that? Why do I always see that?
Yeah, do you know that? Is this about numerology and all?
Well, it's more than that. So, according to the 1111, there's two things. There's the 1111 spirit angels, and they're interconnected with this Arantia book. And within this Arantia book, it's basically discussed as an addendum to the Bible. So, like, it encompasses the Bible and then everything that happened afterward. And it explains the local universes and how they connect to the super universes and how, like, the celestial bodies in the heavens all intercommunicate with each other, and it basically discusses like the different versions of angels and how you can communicate with them, so on and so forth. And then it even gives you a pretty solid history of what happened to Jesus, like after he died and whatnot. And this book kind of is insane for the sheer just like breadth of knowledge that you can get from it. But it
Okay.
discusses that like there are aliens, there are other beings out there. It even discusses like other planets and worlds that are associated to us, and it
So who
gives
wrote this
us
book? Does it say?
doesn't know. Nobody knows who actually wrote the book. That's the
Okay.
weird part about it, is
So it
that,
could just totally be a fiction
well, it could be a fiction, right? The original book itself was supposedly like in the 1920s or 30s. Sometimes there people were writing it down, but the book itself didn't become like a national thing until the 1950s, when they basically took all the Arantia papers that were written together and then submitted it as a book. And this is where the crazy part is the way that the books were written. Well, they were written through what you call channeling. So like the guys that were reading this believed that they were angels that had incarnated on Earth as like human beings so that they could help humanity raise their collective vibration. So they basically incarnated on Earth and then wrote this book in a bunch of papers and then started teaching it to different people. And eventually they got enough people to put it together into an actual book and made it into kind of like a pseudo religion. And I like it, but I just say, if I follow religion, this is the religion that I'm going to follow because it's fucking crazy. Right? Like it's a
what did these people
foundation.
who follow this book did they call themselves Christians, or what do they call themselves?
No, technically, it's more of like it'd be like a Christian heresy type deal because they believe that they're one with the Lord, not separate. So
Okay.
they believe that God is within everything and is everything as a part of Him, all while not being a part of Him. But like when it was first distributed, it was distributed as the Arantia book, and it was a nonprofit out of Chicago that actually put it all together. Right. And I mean, it's just a little bit strange that it's been around. So many of the many of the new age philosophies that you've probably heard do kind of fall into place with this one, but this one has its own like mythos to the point where it actually has like, believable stuff that you can go through and actually try to prove, which I thought was kind of crazy. So, like they only know is that the book was written in parts, and each of the parts are as follows. Part one's about the central and super universes, part two is about the local universe, and specifically the story of our galaxy from, the beginning until now. And then part three is the history of Arantia, which is the name of Earth, or Earth's actual true name, as opposed to, we call it Earth, but the name of Earth is actually Aranta.
Is that is that just from this book, or do other books say that too?
This is just from this book, and then the last part of it is the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. So it talks about like every individual part, and the way that they even say like that you should understand is that you go through the entire Bible and then you kind of go through this one, and it's supposed to be like an apocryphal religious revelation. And the first person that was ever really associated to it was a guy named William S. Sadler. William S. Sadler and his
Okay.
wife Lena Sadler. They wrote voluminous amounts of content to the point where this guy would like channel some sort of entity or something that was dictating him to write all of this stuff, and then he kind of worked as like a team, right? And they were both respected physicians who were debunkers of paranormal claims and other types of hoaxes in their beginning. So like these people that wrote it were not the types of people to like make shit up. Like they were the ones that were always taking people's claims of like being psychic or whatever, they got a ghost or something like that, and they would be the guys that were debunking them. So
Okay.
that's why I think it's really, like an interesting thing, because when they talk about it, they're like, yeah, I would be sitting here, I would be writing all of these sessions, and I'd have a stenographer making notes, and then I was in like a trance, right? And they wrote these things through a trance, through psychoanalysts and hypnotism, and it was a part of them trying to prove or disprove if people could actually channel in the first place. And as you know, nowadays there's a lot of people that do channeling, like I channel this alien entity like Bashar, or another one was Cryon of magnetic service. Like, I mean, you could go fucking full deep into this for
Yeah.
years and just having content for days. That's
Yeah, I
insane.
mean, yeah, I love diving into stuff like that. Somebody in the chat, scam baiter. I really don't mean to offend you, man. But I feel like when people have meltdowns like that, whenever their beliefs are challenged a little bit, that means that their beliefs aren't too set in stone, like they're a little bit fragile. I swear to God, I'm not trying to attack you, bro. Like, I don't mean this at all. But it takes a little bit of a stronger mind to be able to entertain other ideas. I know there's a famous quote that says this, but I'm not even going to try to quote it. But to entertain other ideas without always changing your mind, like you should be able to absorb other people's beliefs and ideas and learn from them and learn of them without completely changing your mind. And just because somebody else's beliefs challenge yours, don't mean that you need to have a meltdown every time that happens.
Well, yeah, no, I could completely agree with that. A lot of people do have a meltdown because, like me, I don't even think I believe this myself. I just remember in 2008 when I started my YouTube channel, like I was having a bad time in life and I kept seeing this 1111 shit, and then I fell upon this group, this 1111 progress group, right? And it's ever since then that like I've read it every day, I follow it, I get emails from them that like say some pretty, I don't know, some pretty interesting shit. But like this has nothing to do with getting censored, but it's just
Yeah.
kind of like what I look at the life as, because I don't know if this stuff is true. I just am so bored that I'd rather just take the time to listen, which is kind of funny because that's the message that we actually got for today. Here, let me refresh
Yeah.
this.
Do you look into numerology like deeper?
Sometimes, depending on when people are talking about it, if it seems to come up with it. Although I'm not a huge fan of like numerology or what's the other thing? Fuck, gematria. I fucking hate gematria. That shit's so
Yeah.
stupid. Like,
They have this guy who's been blowing up on YouTube recently. His name's Gary the Numbers Guy. You heard about him?
yeah, I've heard about him actually.
Yeah, he does some videos where he'll like call certain things. and I mean, this stuff seems so real, bro. He's even been hired by some sports teams to draft, like to tell them who to draft. And apparently he's been really, really successful at it because he can predict their futures based on numerology. Like he can predict what year is going to be a bad one, what year is going to be a good one. And he's been pretty accurate. I mean, he predicted stuff like Andrew Tate's arrest and things like that.
After the fact,
No, before he predicted it.
Andrew Tate's gonna get arrested. I'll have to look into that one again because I mean I predict shit all the time, but you know, like all of my superpowers and shit like that come from following this because
I believe that number stuff. I remember, and dude, I remember telling my friend about this stuff maybe 3 years ago or so when Valorant, the video game, first came out during the pandemic. I was like, dude, I've been seeing like fours. I've been seeing so many fours over and over again. And he was like, yeah, like I could tell he wasn't really believing me or nothing like that. And then I pressed tab to look at the leaderboard during one of the games. Every single person had 4 kills, 4 deaths, 4 assists. Every single person. I sent it to him. He was like, okay, holy shit. Like that's wild, man.
it's wild. You know, that's actually a number too. It's an angel. They call them angel numbers. When you're an angel, you see these numbers a lot. The 444 tells you that you can trust the guidance that they are giving you because it's
Okay.
that's what it's supposed to mean. But you know, like a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, I think is really interesting to explore. I probably would maybe be a little bit more popular. The At the end of the day, though, it's like once you start reading into this stuff, you realize that you know you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to just share it and let people do what they're supposed to do with it. Because if it's all true, you're just awakening people. Like you
Yeah.
know, it's supposed to be some sort of great awakening or something. I
It's a
don't
lot
know.
more
You know.
fun to learn some new secret magic than to, get it debunked or whatever.
Correct, you know, but like here we're not really talking about new secret magic. They're discussing old secret magic that and bringing it back allegedly. I don't, you know, truly know of anything, but if anybody asks me what my religion is or whatever, you know, like I say that just because, you know, I read it the most.
Yeah. Gotcha. I was really just asking because of the Bible thing, because I know a lot of Christians, they believe the earth is flat because of some stuff that the Bible has said. Um, yeah, you ever well, I don't know where you want to take this stream, but I feel like I'm running it too much.
No, you're good, dude. Like, see, that's the thing is that my streams are different than everybody else's streams because I'm not running it. We're just having a
Yeah.
conversation. Like, it's mostly just like us just sitting and kicking it and talking it about where things have gone and where they've been and where you think they're gonna go. You know, like it's about you. It's about your future. You know, sometimes I break off into crazy tangents, and it's more or less because I'm trying to figure out you know what your feeling is on this stuff, you know, like get a feeling for you because some
Yeah.
of the more insane stuff out there that I believe is, you know, batshit insane and crazy to other people. But here we are, you know, like we're talking about censorship and I mean at the end of the day, this is the kind of stuff that they're trying to get rid of, right?
Yeah. I don't like labeling things as like crazy. I've never really done that in my entire life. I've always been pretty open-minded. And like I said, there's that famous quote where it's like, it takes a strong mind to be able to entertain certain ideas and not always adopt them. And I feel like people like Joe Rogan is like an example of somebody who will just adopt the ideas of whoever's across the table from him. I think it's probably a subconscious thing because he wants to have a good conversation, and that's normally how you have a good conversation. You like a more, you agree, more agreeable than combative, and yeah, I mean, I think it's really good to absorb the ideas without always changing your mind. What I was gonna ask is, you ever looked into somebody like Billy Carson, who does like a new, he pretty much has like a new story of how like the origins of the Earth, where he believes in like the Anunnaki and people like Thoth and things like that. Those things
Actually,
are super interesting to me.
yeah, actually, I'm a pretty big fan of like the Emerald tablets of Thoth and
Yeah,
where they came from. Even though like the Doreel tablets aren't exactly the most real thing that ever existed. Like specifically the like those tablets actually nobody's ever found them. Like whatever story that the majority of these guys have been talking about, in my experience, because like I spent a good 5 years going into the New Age communities and like talking to different entities and people that were in that trying to figure out, you know, like who is being real, who's being fake, who's being like crazy. And I actually understand that stuff quite a bit. Like I still believe that there's probably going to be a little bit more to come out. Although a lot of it seems to have gotten a lot of been brought back into the forefront a few years ago because of that spirit science guy. Have you ever heard of that channel, the
Yeah,
Spirit
yeah.
Science?
Yep.
You know, when that guy came out,
Somebody
like,
mentioned that to me earlier today.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, like that spirit science channel, like he had a lot of really good ideas and things, but he was a good example of how when you do that kind of content, you open yourself up to, or you open it up for all these other cats that have been saying something similar to kind of like glom onto it and change it. And I mean, honestly, I've always been the guy like, hey, if you can channel or if you can, astral project or if you can remote view any of these like
Yeah.
things that are real stuff, right? Like, remote viewings are a real thing that the government pays people
Yep.
to do. There's actually real human beings that have done it. I've met them, like at least one
Yeah,
of them.
one of my friends, dude. One of my friends. I swear he's telling the truth. You can astral project. Like seriously, he can do it. And it's. I mean, I don't have the focus to do it, but he can tell me step by step how he does it. I just don't have time for that shit, man. I got bills to pay,
Yeah,
but I
just
love
think about
consuming the
it. You do
content.
have time for it, though. You do have time for it, though. The whole point of that shit, my friend, is to be able to do it without taking the time. Like
Yeah, that's true.
you spend an hour for a week, and then you spend half an hour until the point where if you're trying to astral project, the whole point of astral projecting or remote viewing is being able to do it immediately.
Yeah.
So like there's guys that practice and they have to like lay down and do all of this shit allegedly, but the ones that are really good, the ones that understood the assignment, realize that the whole point is to train your body to do it, because you're supposed to have all these extraneous powers associated to you.
Yeah.
You just don't know that you have them until you use them, right? So maybe
I
you
would
can.
I lucid dream a lot. I would love to be able to do that on purpose and also do productive things for my life, Like
Are you
I've heard of
ADD?
what's that?
Do you have attention deficit disorder?
Yeah. Well, I was diagnosed with it. I don't take any medication for it or anything, but they said I had it, yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
got addicted to Adderall when I was younger because of that. So I was like, I'm not touching that shit ever again. That was a horrible
smart.
experience.
Well, it's smart. I mean, me and you are very similar because I don't like sitting down and doing it, but I think that you just got to find one thing, right, that will get you into that zone. And I think that what you probably need is something that's a little more imaginatory, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like this one that I found called the Constant Construct is probably the best one that I've ever used, because it explains it in such a way that you're not actually doing anything crazy. It's like teaching you how to visualize a flower. Like visualize a rose in your brain. What does it look like? How big is it? What do the stems
Hey,
look
I
like?
gotta take a call real quick. This is somebody calling me about my YouTube channel.
Hey,
So
no
I'll be
worries.
right back. I might have breaking news in a second.
Okay. Give him a second. We'll pop him back. Well, wait, you've taken all 5 jabs and 3 boosters. Well, he's taking a phone call. Hopefully everything is going well for him. I see there's a few people out there in the chat. Sorry, we've been just trying to have a conversation when we do interviews. We try to focus on the interviews and talking back and forth. But if you guys are ready, or, we'll go ahead and look at the chat. I got my Rumble chat and my YouTube chat on my little other thing all set up here. Here, I can actually pull it up right now. Check it out. Actually, yeah, I should be able to pull that up right now. I'll just pull it up like this. Share screen. And then, where is it? Social stream. There it is. All right. There we go. There we go. All seeing you. Breaking news. Tefango's my favorite YouTuber. Yeah, whatever. All seeing you. We could have been together. Whatever. What's up, Scoats McGroats? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hope he does find a workaround for that thing. Like, he's been talking to different individuals about this for at least a little bit of time, and he's been saying that he supposedly, hopefully, can get, like, unbanned from YouTube. I'm putting it out there. I'm utilizing all of my, whatever, my juju to try to, like, help this guy out here. And honestly, to be perfectly honest, it's not like what I see for myself. Like, I don't see me getting it back in the future when I look. But for him, I definitely see him with the YouTube channel and being able to do it. So I feel like this is just a terrible mistake on YouTube's end, and they should be giving it back to him. But it just sucks that this shit's happening. And I mean, it's just happening to some of the weirdest people, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Mm-hmm. Have I ever looked into the Henday Cross? Yeah, probably at one point in my life. Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, YouTube sees it now. That's a joke, YouTube. What? See what now? I don't know. I feel like we're all coming together trying to do the best that we can for these folks. Right? Everybody gets taken out. Everybody's got different opinions, but at the end of the day, we should all still be able to like just do, right? Yeah. We should all just be able to do what we like to do. We shouldn't have to worry about getting censored, dude. It's just so stupid. Censorship is stupid. Yeah. It's so stupid. You could go to lucid dreaming to astral projection very easy. Yeah, most people go into lucid dreaming pretty easily. Most people can just lucid dream. See, the real test is to not be able to dream about anything like me. See, when I go to sleep, it just goes to nothing. There are no dreams. No dreams whatsoever. You know why? Because I got a big fucking dream catcher that's like this fucking big on the wall that catches all those motherfuckers. Because I ain't trying to be wasting that time. Yeah. But yeah, once you don't dream like me, and I mean, it really gives you time, because then the only dreams that you actually do have or remember are the dreams that are coming directly from your subconscious. Right? And it's pushing it forward, so you get a lot better clarity on a lot of things that are happening out there in the world. But yeah. No, Susu, I don't dream. They get caught in my dream catcher, and then I go through them later on in the day, and I search through them. So yes, I do remember the dreams, but they are caught in the dream catcher. So I could just look at the dream catcher, like pick and choose and get rid of the ones that I don't like. So yeah, like I don't remember them because they all get put into the dream catcher. And then I look at the dream catcher and I can see the dreams when I'm awake and be all like, all these dreams suck, and then throw them away. So yeah. Must suck to suck. Must suck to suck, Susu. Yeah, I don't really have shared dreams or any of that stuff that happens. Never happens to me. Yeah, if you don't go to sleep for a few days, you will hallucinate, and that's definitely not a dream. Yeah, just dream a little dream. Or dream a big dream. I don't know. I used to dream big dreams. Every time I dream big dreams, they never come true, though. Sometimes the little ones come true, though. Maybe I just need to come up with a bunch of little dreams and make a big dream. Yeah. I don't know. Most of the time, I just look into the future. When you're a fifth dimensional being, you exist in all space time simultaneously. So you can see things happening in the future and in the past. You just kind of got to figure out exactly when. It's kind of annoying, to be perfectly honest. Oh shit, dude! Christina coming in with the $4.99 on the super chat. What, dude? We get super chats on this channel, dog. We get money from Beaches. Say what? Well, thank you for that. You're number one there, Miss Christina. We appreciate your money. We appreciate your money. That's definitely gonna buy me some weed later. Woohoo! But that's nice of you. We appreciate that. Yeah, as the universe answers your call, it will deceive you if unnoticed. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't dream anymore. The only dream that we really have right now is the dream of Justin is Lost getting back his YouTube channel. Because I mean, my dream, my dreams don't ever come true. But whenever I help other people with their dreams, they usually come true. I think that's what I'm here for, is the miracle man for everyone else. I'm the guy dishing out the miracles, but I don't get them. Sucks, man. I just wanted to be rich. I just wanted to have a nice car, a nice computer, and a little box I could live in that was mine. I don't even need that much money. It's whatever, though. It's whatever. I guess we're all just in. But yeah, when the universe calls, you answer. Or you don't. Depends on what you want to do. Or it depends on who you are, really. But I guess at the end of the day, I just got to puff pass. And we got to make sure that we're not too late for the Zoms building. We got to make sure that we're not going to be late for the Zoms thing. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, well. Share screen. Oh, I guess I got to unshare the screen. No, not remove. Not that one. This one. Okay. Let's share screen. Share entire screen. Yeah. Diogenes slept in a barrel, but I don't want to sleep in a barrel. The Joker, we have talked about last time I played Star Citizen, the bugs and server lag was bad. Have you kept up with it? I haven't played Star Citizen in weeks. I played Star Citizen yesterday, actually, and then I got in. And oh, he's back. Back. What's up?
Yo.
Good news? Bad news?
No news, unfortunately.
No news. Oh,
unfortunately,
that sucks,
news,
man.
Yeah, it is what it is, dude. I say no news, but every time I think about it more, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. I mean, I look at the future and I see you with the YouTube channel and I see me without one. So, I mean, I feel like you're going to be all right. You're just going to have to wait. Like, you know how long it took me to get my channel back in the first place? It took a year.
Yeah.
A straight year of every month going back at them until something changed and they gave it back to me. And then I think I lasted for like 6 months before I got like completely nuked because of the election stuff. I think I made an election video that got me nuked.
Yeah. Well, even if I don't get it back, I think I'll be okay. Because I appreciate you bringing me here, and like everybody else who's been signal boosting it and bringing attention to it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, man. I'll be honest, is like, I don't really get boosted a whole lot, but I remember it's not about how other people treat you, it's how you treat other people. For me, I'm always going to try to signal boost it. I'm always going to talk about it, put it out there, because I mean, it's happened to me, and at the end of the day, I can be all curmudgeon about whatever happened to my shit. It's that was in the past. Right now, it's like happening again, and it's just like it pains me like to see it, because I thought that we were away from this type of shit.
I can tell you, if I saw you getting censored or banned or whatever, I definitely would signal boosted, but I'd never have seen that. So I always do it for everybody. I mean, even people that I really don't like, I will signal boost them whenever they're getting censored or whatever. And that's what I respect. A lot of people who I've had beef with in the past have reached out and said, I'm sorry this is happening, and they've retweeted and everything. I think, I mean, that's how everybody should be. This is not right, for anybody to go through. So I've always viewed it. It's just not right. If you get 3 strikes, that's one thing. If you get nuked for no reason, just fucked, man.
Yeah. I'm getting strikes. I've got copyright strikes. I got nuked, came back. I've gotten nuked for no strikes, came back. But at the same time, I got strikes again, or didn't get strikes again, got nuked, didn't come back. So it's just really kind of.
Did you come back on appeals, or did they just eventually bring it back?
I came back on appeals.
Yeah, I can't even appeal anymore. They just said, we've already denied your appeal. See you here.
Yep. They don't even let you reappeal anymore. So it's just kind of like, you got to have a friend in high places, or you got to pray.
Yeah. Luckily I do.
You do. Well, I guess, pretty much with all that, I don't want to take up too much of your time this evening, but it was a pleasure having you here on the channel. I'm glad that we could at least discuss this stuff and see where things are going with you. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the people, have them go follow you at, anything like that?
Yeah, my channel is Justin Reloaded, at least the channel that I'm using right now. Or you can follow me on Rumble at Justin is Lost with no spaces. I would appreciate that as well. I'll be posting I'm probably going to stream. I don't know if I'll stream just on Rumble or what I'm going to do with that, but I'll definitely be posting everything over on Rumble from now on. And now, once again, I appreciate everybody out there who's been retweeting and following me on my new accounts and everything. And thank you for bringing me on this stream. I really appreciate it.
And there's that new channel for you guys, Justin Reloaded, Just Culture War Comedy. That's the one, right?
Yep, that's it.
Just a gay lesbian man / black LGBTQ ally giving my comedy base. Oh my god, dude.
Comedy
Is that
based
what
commentary. Yeah.
the fuck? Is that what that's? Yep, that's what that says. I
Gotta
had to click
protect
on it.
myself, man.
I had to click on it. I mean, that's just. I mean, with that, I think now you guys know who he is, and you can go follow him on his channels. But at most, please just go out there and make some noise on social media and try to help this guy out. Because literally, the only time that something ever happens is when enough people makes noise. I feel like, and that's really just it.
Yeah. Thank y'all. I really can't thank y'all enough for all the support. And once again, thank you for bringing me on the stream. It's the only way I'm ever gonna be able to get my name out again. Because cut off from my audience. So thank you, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And honestly, thanks for giving me the time today and coming on the show. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening, my friend.
Yeah. All right, man. See y'all
Peace,
later.
dude. Peace out, babe. Well, that was an interesting little chat. Somebody that got censored, but honestly, I gotta say, he's taking it pretty well. Like, remember when I got censored? I didn't take it as good as that. I mean, the second time, yeah, I took it about that well, but he's taking it pretty well for somebody. Maybe he made a little bit more money on YouTube than I did, so it's a little bit easier. But dude, it sucks, dude. That's 53,000 subscribers. God, I mean, it's a lot of work, dude. It's a lot of work. That's double the work that I had. Sucks. And that's really it. So make sure you put it out there. Talk about it, share it with your friends, bother bigger creators that you watch and like better than me to talk about this, because it's the only way that we're ever going to get any type of change in these types of situations. Okay. That's basically it. So it's pretty much it, though. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Glad that we could provide you guys with some content today. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye now. Bye.